What's going on, man? Thank you for stopping by the #1 podcast in Riverside. What's going on, dude?
Just living the dream on another rainy Southern California day.
You know, we always complain that we don't have enough water in California, but the last 2 winters have been just brutal rainy.
Hey, you know, I actually love the rain. I hate driving in the rain.
I hate commuting.
And, you know, one of the things that I hate is the conditions of our roads. Driving here, I hit quite a number of potholes.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that really frustrates me is just that part.
For sure.
But the rain itself,
You just love it?
I love it. I love to go outside. I love to drive down and you see the hills. They're nice and green because they're brown. They're brown and it just you're in the middle of the desert most of the year. But when you see them nice and green, it's just so peaceful and
There's
beautiful.
nothing better than if you've never lived in Riverside, the day after a hard rain and it blows out and then the mountains are all snowy. There's no better place, honestly.
It's the best. The other day I was over in Casablanca and where the new school is being built over off of Lincoln Avenue, and I looked over the construction site and you see the top of the mountains there covered in snow, and I was just like, and I could envision the new school being built.
Yeah.
I'm like, how picturesque is that going to be? Just that picture alone in my mind of the beautiful, white snow-covered mountains and beautiful brand new school.
When is that going to be done?
2025.
Okay.
And you're talking about a game changer for the community. What they have planned there, what RUSD has planned over at that school, is going to change the direction, I think, of the young lives in the Casablanca for generations to come.
This show is sponsored by Resilient Real Estate Group, powered by EXP. So, you're thinking about buying and selling soon? Yes, we know you probably know a realtor, your mom's best friend's cousin's neighbor, who puts her face on the local shopping cart. But you know what? Our friends at Resilient Real Estate Group have helped hundreds of thousands of people sell houses over the years, and they definitely know what they're doing based on their 5-star review on Google and Zillow. So, it doesn't matter if you're looking to buy a $1 million house or a fixer-upper, make sure the next time you're thinking about buying and selling real estate, you give our friends a call over at Resilient Real Estate Group. And now we're back to the show. Why don't you tell everyone who you are, man?
Sean Mill, former planning commissioner for the city of Riverside, current council candidate for the Ward 5 seat, and also, like you, in the real estate industry, sell title insurance.
For sure. So, why don't you tell people where Ward 5 is? Because a lot of people in Riverside do not know where the wards are.
Okay.
I find that.
I'll give you the rough version. The majority of Ward 5 is like the Arlington area. It goes all the way over to Casablanca, the Auto Center. But geographically, you're looking at the south would be Victoria Avenue, the north, Magnolia, though it does go north of Magnolia in some parts. On the east, it'd be Jefferson, and the west, La Sierra.
Got it.
So kind of right through the center of the city.
Yeah.
Casablanca to the east, and then La Sierra to the west.
We actually have a project coming up in your community.
Oh, where you at?
We are in Esca right now on the corner of Victoria. And what's the street that cuts through Casablanca? Is that Lincoln?
There's Victoria, Madison.
Oh, right where the farm's at?
Oh, yeah.
We're in Esca
wow.
on that.
Nice.
30 acres.
Oh, nice.
130 houses.
Wow.
2 years
Incredible.
away. Yeah, that's what we're in right now.
We were just, I spent a lot of time in that area, and we were just talking about, like, what amazing, how it would be amazing to see something developed here.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that was in the works.
Yeah, we're in Esca on it right now.
Nice. So how far along in the...
Oh, we just opened Escrow.
Okay.
So it's going to be years away because when we close, we have to give that farmer 2-year lease notice.
Okay.
So then after that, we won't break ground for 2 years.
Well, I can tell you one thing, that the kids that grow up in those houses are going to have an amazing...
That's what I'm saying. That's why when I was like, oh, shoot, that's even better.
We're talking school with a dual immersion. It's going to have a engineering focus. I look at what they're doing for these kids in elementary school, and I'm like blown away. I'm like, we were getting paste and crayons, and these kids are getting like this high tech stuff. So I'm kind of jealous. I mean, as much as I wouldn't want to have to go back in age and go back to elementary school, when I see what they're proposing for these kids and how it's going to set them up for future success, it's just amazing.
Well, it's like those part of Riverside. We just Casablanca has always been like kind of the lower end spot, the east side. But it's like if you bring value to those neighborhoods, then that brings in developers, then that brings in value goes up, and then it's a win-win for everyone.
Well, the one thing that I don't think a lot of people understand is how important the neighborhood school is to an area like Casablanca, that will become the hub of the entire community. It's not so much, they don't care so much about City Hall as much as they do about making sure that their kids have a great education, setting their kids up for a better future than they had. And the neighborhood school is going to be so important. It's going to be the hub of all activity in that community. And I truly think that it's going to change the trajectory of Casablanca and the surrounding area for generations.
Yeah.
It's going to just be amazing. I'm really excited for both Riverside and for the kids that are going to get to go there.
Well, I think the big thing is, especially since 2020 and the boom that we've had of people realizing what we have out here, because I always felt like there was a stigma before that. Like, I used to talk to people like in Orange County, like, oh, we don't go past, Chino Hills,
Right.
But now, like, when COVID hit and people could go buy houses out here for like $700,000, they're selling their 2-bedroom apartments in Long Beach, It's like, we have the money out here now. We have the people, and if we just find more reasons for people to come out here, you know what I mean?
I think Riverside continues to miss an opportunity. If you look at where we sit on the map, we're right in the center of, you got San Diego, Los Angeles, and Orange County, which is one of the most prosperous financial areas, not in the state, not in the country, in the world. We're right at the center of that. We should be capitalizing on that every day. And it starts by having, visionary leadership here in the city that's looking to, raise the levels of expectations here. And for the last 4 years, I've seen us in a quick race to the bottom.
Yeah.
And I think that we can do great things here if we actually focus on raising the level of the community rather than our own personal aspirations.
Yeah. Is that the reason why you're jumping in?
I am. I'm running because I look around, the last 4 years, I go back to Ronald Reagan, 1980. Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? And as I drive around the city, I can clearly state that the city doesn't look as good as it did 4 years ago. Drive up and down Magnolia through Arlington, we have the highest rate of vacancy for retail and commercial in the entire city. That's a problem. Magnolia should be a thriving corridor of hustle and bustle. There should be a lot of activity there. It's the major
it's
street.
a major drive through Riverside.
And so as you drive from Corona into Riverside, you see a lot of blighted, vacant buildings. How is that going to incentivize somebody to come in from the outside to bring money if that's what they see? As they drive into, through one of the most prominent streets in the entire region, and they see blight, it's not going to, that doesn't bode well for investment. You look at the corner of Van Buren and Magnolia, probably the busiest intersection in the entire Inland Empire, and two prominent corners have sat vacant for over a decade. I mean, well, the north east corner has been vacant over a decade, and then the other one was burned down one. But every day, every time a car goes to the intersection, it's a lost opportunity.
Well, why was it taking so long to rebuild something then? They could have torn it down already and built something.
Well, I think it's because there's a lack of sometimes you need a carrot and sometimes you need a stick.
Yeah.
And someone at City Hall needs to be pushing the envelope here. And
that building should have always been updated.
Yeah, well,
it was always behind the times.
I look at the corner. So let's look at that area in general. You have Cal Baptist University at Adams, and Dr. Ellis and the folks at Cal Baptist have done an amazing things. And as they're coming westbound, rehabbing that area. Imagine if we could incentivize private developers to come in here from the west and go east.
Yeah,
it's almost like the Intercontinental Railroad where you meet in the middle and drive the Golden Spike. And we need to capitalize on that. And for the last 4 years, there's been no conversations with the Ward 5 council member and CBU. There's been no conversations between the business community and the incumbent. And then we wonder, why is this area blighted? Why is business not thriving? Well, it's because there's been a lack of leadership for the last 4 years. And we can't continue to go down this road and expect to have different results. Mm-hmm. And as somebody who's in the title insurance industry, the real estate industry, I understand how important the ancillary, we need to provide stores. You need to provide all those things in order for property values to rise and to see the socioeconomic level of the community rise. You need to see these areas thriving, and they're not. Well,
that's like when the plaza went down when I was a kid. Just look at that area. To think, I was there actually 2 nights ago. Is to think like, man, when I was a kid, this was a tore down mall that no one went to.
Right.
The mall stunk, and then they built this cool outdoor area, and it's always busy. It's like it wasn't the people weren't there. It's just they didn't have what the people wanted.
Right, and I served on the planning commission here for 4 years, and when I first got there, I talked about we need to create an adaptive reuse ordinance here in Riverside to incentivize outside private developers to come in and repurpose these underutilized vacant commercial and retail buildings. I would love to see a test case be done in the Magnolia corridor through Arlington, where we could bring in developers and start rehabbing all that vacant, blighted buildings. Because you and I both know, what does vacancy bring? It brings vagrancy, and the vagrants bring higher calls for service for our PD.
Yeah.
Just problems all around. And so if we can incentivize private development to come in here and start rehabbing.
Well, just take the corner of Arlington and Van Buren and the old Kmart. I mean, you want to talk about a complete facelift to that community.
Right. Without a doubt.
That went from like boarded up, it was an eyesore to the community. It just was terrible. And then developers came in and just now that is a very nice, very busy shopping center.
And what did it do is that all those people that were hanging out in the parking lot with their antisocial behavior and criminal activity, they've moved along. They're not there anymore. And as long as we continue to allow these blighted buildings and all this vacancy and all of that, you're going to see the problems that we see along Magnolia. I drive down that street every single day, and I see people shooting up drugs.
Yeah.
I see them smoking meth. I see them doing God knows what. I see body parts that I shouldn't be seeing as I drive down the street, and we've allowed that. And I think that we as a community, I know our citizenry is tired of it, because I've been to thousands of doors. I've talked to thousands of Riversiders, and they're tired of it. And I think that it's time that we no longer tolerate this type of activity, especially along one of our major thoroughfares throughout our city. I mean, Magnolia Avenue should be one of our crown jewels. It should be something that celebrates Riverside. It should be an entrance as people are coming into our city, like, wow, this is
because you can take it from there all the way to downtown.
You can take it from one end of the city to the other, right through the middle of the city. I'm in Ward 5, so I'm primarily focused on that. But you get past that, you're in the Brockton Arcade area. I mean, there's so much potential, but it's going to take City Hall getting back to basics in dealing with the potholes, trimming trees, making sure people's trash get picked up, dealing with the vagrancy problem. We're not going to virtue signal our way out of the problems that we've had. And for the last 4 years, we spend hours debating issues that don't matter to Riverside residents. We spent 3.5 hours debating what flag to fly on the flagpole, but we can't get people's trash picked up on time. We can't get people's potholes filled. That's a problem. The residents want to see us deal with their issues. They don't want to see us virtue signal and look at how wonderful we are. Are you going to pick up my trash today? Are you going to deal with the homeless guy that's smoking meth while my kids are trying to play at the park? That's what people are concerned about. And yet for the last 4 years, this council's focused on everything but.
Yeah. Well, it's just like crazy how it's what gets people attention, and fixing potholes is not what gets plastered on the first page of the newspaper, know?
But the problem is that you have people in City Hall leadership that are more worried about their future than Riverside's future. I'm running because when I open my door tomorrow, I want Riverside to look better than when I closed it the night before. I have no vision go to Sacramento or Washington, D.C. or anywhere else. I'm running because I want to invest in my community and make it a better place to live. I'm not running for myself. I mean, Lord knows I could spend my time selling title insurance. And instead, I feel it's important. I have an obligation to my community to make it a better place to live. And we need to stop focusing on our political futures and worrying about our community's future.
Yeah. Well, I just think that shift, I feel like maybe in the last few years, I'm only 36, but a shift in politicians becoming politicians has outweighed the people in the city trying to make their city. It's not now. It's just a stepping stone to something else.
And that's a shame. Is that I look at the elected officials that were here going way back, and that's why I'm proud to have the endorsements of almost every former city council member that's still living in the city. They support me. The former mayor Rusty Bailey behind me, former Ward 5 council member Chris MacArthur, former Ward 5 council member Ed Atkinson, Steve Adams. You name it. They Mike Subaru, Mike Gardner. These are the people who helped move our city forward and got things done. None of them were looking at higher office. They were looking to make Riverside a better place for you and me to live in. And I really hope that we can get back to that. And it's what I want to do isn't glamorous. It's not sexy. It's not going to. It's not going to get a whole bunch of people down at City Hall, to pack the chambers because, I just want to virtue signal and look at me and pass feel-good resolutions. I want to just fill your potholes. No one's going to come out and, but people are thankful that when I talk to them at their front door, the things they talk about, and it's crazy, behind homelessness, the number 2 thing I hear people talk about is trash pickup.
Really?
When are we going to get our trash picked up on time? I put my 3 cans out there on Monday, and maybe by Friday, all 3 of them have been picked up.
Isn't that crazy? I live up in Orange Crest. I've never had that problem.
It is crazy. And
I've never had that problem in Orange Crest.
I was talking with some political strategists, and they're not from here. It was like it was just a conversation, and they're like, "Well, what are some of your issues?" And I'm talking about it, and I said, "Trash pickup." And they're like, "Come on, Sean, really? Like trash pickup? No one cares about trash pickup." I'm like, oh, people care about trash pickup, and it literally because
it's a headache that you don't want to deal with. Okay, it's like hitting a pothole and dinging your rim up. You're like, sweet.
So you put your cans out and you have your green can, you have your green can for your green waste, your blue can for your recycling, and your brown can for your trash. So they come and they pick up and I hear this from folks over here by Poly High School area.
Yeah.
So Friday they're supposed to pick up, or Thursday they're supposed to pick them all up. Well, they pick up one on Thursday and then maybe one on Friday. And then on Saturday they may not get there to get it. And then early Sunday morning they hear the truck coming to get it.
Really? Dude, I've never had that issue.
It's so crazy.
Who do we run I don't even know. Who does our trash?
City.
Oh, the city does?
It's a city in-house refuse services.
Oh, so it's not like Burtec or...
So some parts of the city have a private, like where I live in, I live out.
I think we have Burtec. I think Orange.
Well, it's Athens now. It was Burtec.
It was Burtec, yeah.
But you know I can waste no time, because I gotta keep it tight. I'm in my bag, got my eyes on the price. You know I can waste no time, because I gotta keep it tight. I'm in my bag, got my eyes on the price. You know I can waste no time, because I gotta keep it tight. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me.
So the thing is that the city says, well, we can't get enough people to work to pick up the trash. We had a deal in place prior to this council. There was a deal in place that was going to outsource our trash services to the private haulers. Every single employee of the refuse department was going to be hired by the private, so no one was going to lose their jobs. The pension obligations were going to be picked up by the private haulers. They were going to pay them more money. So it was a win-win. They were going to buy our trucks from us. So we weren't going to have to worry about servicing trucks. We weren't going to have to worry about the pension obligations. We were going to, the trash was going to get picked up. It was a win-win for everybody, except for the private haulers were non-union shop. And the current council, including my opponent was the biggest proponent, is that, no, we want to insource this because the SEIU wants to have, the members.
Yeah.
And so who cares that the residents are hurt by it? We need to do what's best by the.
It's one of those things where it's like the public sector sometimes just does stuff better. So it's like they already have that figured out. Just let them do it.
Well, the thing is I look at our refuse employees at City Hall. God bless them. I'm not mad at them. It's not their fault that the trash isn't getting picked up on time.
They don't have enough people.
They don't have enough people. But how you solve that, we had a plan in place. And again, I wouldn't be supportive of that plan if you were going to tell me, oh, all those people that work for the city, they lose their job.
Yeah.
But they were all going to be hired by the private haulers. So I'm all for that. I don't want to see any of it. If they said, well, we'll take it over, but all those people at City Hall lose their job, then I'd be like, no, I'm against that 100%. But when you're telling me they're going to get a raise, their pensions are taken care of, I mean, it's a win for the taxpayers, it's a win for the employees. The only person who loses, the SEIU. That's the only people they were going to lose members. And so we put the best interest of the SEIU over the best interest of the employee, I think, because now they're overworked because there's not enough of them to do the job. And it's just frustrating is because you have to, where are our priorities? And our priorities should be to the residents, first and foremost. And I think we've forgotten about that. I think, City Hall forgets the org chart. You and I.
Well, the hard part is, I think, that happens with politicians is the people pay the taxes that pay them, but the special instance pay the money to get them reelected. So what's more important, getting paid or being reelected? It's the reelection. So it's like,
what's more important
to them?
To them,
that is 100%.
Right. And for me, it's like, what is your responsibility to yourself, or is your responsibility to the community? When you're elected, your responsibility is to do what's best for the community. And if you do what's best for the community, you will get reelected.
That's what I don't understand. You will get reelected.
One of the most frustrating things that I hear from folks, again, is the lack of responsiveness from our elected officials. Okay, so your client calls you and, Adam, I want to sell my house. And you don't call them back.
I lose that deal.
You lose that deal. Sean, Adam calls Sean, needs some title help. Sean doesn't return his call.
You lose that client.
Adam calls another title.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you have to wait 4 years to replace your council member.
Sure.
And, I hear time and again, and I get the phone calls, and, I've called the council member, I've emailed the council member, and I get no response. I go, well, I'm not elected to anything, but they call me. I got a call from some folks in a low income city run building apartment complex here. It's a low income. I guess it's run by the housing department. So Autumn Springs apartment, and the people for 4 years have been calling the incumbent about issues there. So they finally called me. They saw my sign and they're like, "Hey, you're running. Will you come over here?" And I showed up at their apartment, and I took a tour around the apartment. And there were violations, all kinds of just. If it had been a privately run, if there was a landlord there, he'd be cited.
Yeah.
So I took pictures of everything, and I posted on social media. That was on Saturday morning. I took the pictures on Friday, posted them on Saturday morning. By Tuesday, everything had been taken care of. What's frustrating to me is they had been calling the incumbent for the last 4 years, just asking her to come out and take a look at the property, and she'd refused to do so. Imagine if she had taken 5 minutes like I had, those problems would have been taken care of 4 years ago. And that's one of the things I hear constantly from people is that we call our elected officials, we email our elected officials, and we don't hear back. You and I, who work in the private sector, that customer service is the lifeblood of everything.
All I'm doing now is hiring more people to answer my phone calls. So then when people call and text, they get a hold of someone. Because that's all they care about. They just want to feel like you care about them.
That's it. And just because you're elected and you work at City Hall, customer service still should be priority number one. And we have so many elected officials that are just government bureaucrats that they don't have the same quest for customer service.
Because I think our actions are instant. Our problems are instant. Like, you lose a deal, it's instant notification to yourself, like, oh, we screwed that up. We lost that client. That's money out of our pocket, where they might be like, well, that person probably doesn't vote anyway, so does it really matter?
You and I lose a client. That means maybe, we don't get to go on vacation, or we don't get,
or I don't get to hire someone,
right? Or we don't have, or we have to cut back. I don't get to take my kid to the movies, or we don't get to go. Whatever it is, we have to cut back on our family budget. The government doesn't have to worry about the same thing.
Budget.
They don't have that same thing,
which they should.
Right? They don't have the same worries that we do.
Yeah.
But we should still. I truly believe that if you're an elected official, if you're a city council member, customer service should be your number one priority, and your customer is the residents of the city.
Yeah.
And it's not hard. It's not hard to return a phone call. It's not hard to return an email. It's not hard to acknowledge somebody has contacted you. You have 1.5 assistants. They have one and a half assistants. Between 2.5 people, you can get a return phone call or a return email. And if you don't, like I said, you and I get fired by our clients, and the people of Riverside have to wait 4 years to fire them.
Well, and the hard part about it is, in 4 years, do you even remember? Or, are you in some of that votes, or that it's just, there's so many more factors of it. And maybe it should be 2 years instead of 4 years. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just shorter term.
I just think that, the answer isn't changing this. It's changing the type of leaders we have. And, again, we need to be more responsive, and we just need to be focus on the issues that people care about. People don't care what flag is being flown on the flagpole if you're not picking up their trash, or if when they drive down the street, the city's filthy, or their kids have to walk home to and from the school where there's people out there half naked or doing drugs. People don't care about all these virtue signaling initiatives that you put forth. They care about the basics of the quality of life, and I really don't think the quality of life in Riverside has gotten better over the last 4 years. In fact, I continue to say it seems like we're in a race to the bottom here, and we need to change that trajectory. The only way you change that trajectory is change the people who are making the decisions.
Well, you got to bring money in the city, and we have a great spot because rents are pretty expensive here. They're not that much cheaper than Orange County in LA, but the cost of land is way cheaper out here. It's just giving those people the opportunities to come and develop.
But think about it. You get off the freeway and you're hit smack in the face with a huge encampment of vagrants. You drive down Magnolia Avenue, all you see is boarded up vacant businesses. It sends a message without anybody having to say a word. These investment dollars are precious, and
especially nowadays.
And you look around our region, look at the cities. Like Eastvale's killing it. You see all these cities. People are doing things the right way, and used to be Riverside was the king of the mountain. Everybody wanted to be in Riverside. Other cities are
catching up, or past us,
or passing us. I mean, you go to Downtown Redlands. Downtown Redlands is amazing. Riverside that's how our community should be. And I also think we need to stop focusing solely on downtown.
Yeah,
we've done a pretty good job here. Our downtown is starting to come alive, and there's a lot of activity. But Riverside isn't just downtown. We're a big city. You look out Arlington, the Galleria. Again, what a disappointment that is, and what a potential. I actually think the Galleria area, that whole area, has so much potential for great economic growth with the right leadership.
Yeah. Is that school? Is that a Native American school? Is that in your
Sherman Indian?
Is that in your? Is that
It is.
What is? I've always driven past it my whole life. What is it? I've never seen anyone there anymore. Is it even open?
Yeah, I just asked that the other day if there's still students there.
I've never seen students there.
It's an amazing piece of property right there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's just there. I never see anyone use it.
And I'm really not sure what's going on.
I just don't think it's open anymore.
I
just
if it's
not open,
I asked that same question.
That would be if we're not using it, that would be just so much development right there. That would be, because it's just there and it's in a good spot.
Oh, right next to the freeway.
Yeah.
I mean,
quick access to it.
There's a lot of folks that I talk to people all the time, and they're against. They don't want to see more development here in Riverside. They think
we have to.
And the only way we're going to raise the levels of things around here is we think we're going to have to bring in.
It's less like people I know might be upset about our development off of Victoria. Like, oh, you're taking away the farms. Oh, you're taking away that. It's like, what do you want us to do? Like,
we're not a sleepy agricultural town anymore.
We're housing. We need to get more housing. That's going to bring more money to this. Trust me, that we're gonna have way more tax dollars come in from 130 new houses versus a farm. It's just gonna happen, dude.
And then when you bring in the people, then because I hear the question all the time, oh, why don't we have restaurants like we do else? Why don't we have?
We don't have the people to support them.
Exactly. On the north side of town, for years they wanted another grocery store. What do you think? The grocery stores don't want to build grocery stores, but they have to make sense
economically. To make financial sense.
And folks don't understand. For the last 4 years, this council's focused solely on building affordable housing. The hard part with affordable housing, they don't have money for the economy for the city. They're just surviving.
I don't want to sound like a jerk right now, but Grant Cardone always said that the most selfish people in the world are poor people. They only can take care of themselves. They're not the people that go to the restaurants and the shops and all those things. Like, they don't. They go to probably fast food, the cheapest food, Amazon.
You look at what we continue to build here. Every time I see a new development going up, it's a fast food restaurant or a car wash.
Yeah, what is with all the car washes?
We should
we have 3 in Orange Crest right now, all being built. I'm like, there's not that many people who wash cars.
If anybody's car in Riverside is dirty, that's a problem.
That is your problem.
That is
your choice. That is not a choice of anyone else.
But I'm not opposed to affordable housing. I believe we need housing at all levels of affordability. If we're going to attract companies to come to Riverside, you need to have place for the CEO to live as well. You have to have housing at all levels of affordability. But for 4 years, this council is only focused on building low-income affordable housing. I'm not opposed to low-income affordable housing, not saying that at all. But if that's all you're focused on, go right back to what you just said. We need folks that have disposable income that they can spend, that can go out to dinner, they can go to the grocery store. I was in the mall yesterday, the Galleria, whatever you want to call it. I still call it Tyler Mall. And I was talking to a store owner, and I asked her, how's it been since Nordstrom's left? And she says, we don't get the people that we need coming into our store.
They used to spend money there.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's a discount. It's becoming a discount mall.
Yeah, it's like what Moreno Valley turned into.
Right. And it's really is.
Moreno Valley is a terrible mall now.
It's quickly becoming that. And I continually say, we're in a race to the bottom here. We need to stop. We're in a free fall, and we need to stop. Yeah. And it's only going to stop by changing leadership.
Yeah.
Period.
I think the biggest thing is, obviously we work with developers, so it's like with affordable housing, it's like they'll change their density for you to add affordable housing. It's like, okay, this is what you want me to build. And then I'll build more if you let me, if 25% has to be affordable housing. Okay, that's fine. I even think, screw affordable apartments. This is my biggest issue with affordable apartments. You build no equity. I'm a real estate guy. You build no equity, you're still stuck paying rent forever. It's like, if you want to build affordable housing, build affordable housings for people to own. Make smaller houses, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,000 square foot houses. Let's build those. You make it affordable where people can have equity. They're actually putting into what they own, not apartments.
Ownership.
When
people have ownership,
when they have pride in ownership,
they take vested. They get vested in their community. If you're just renting and you're transient, you don't care.
Yeah.
And I think,
but it doesn't stop the problem. Most people get rich off of real estate. It's like I've always said that. You want affordable housing? Make houses affordable for people to buy. And let them buy them and let them own it. Then you're getting tax dollars off of them. Then there's ownership. And if the market goes up, great. Then they have some equity.
Yep.
And they get to play in the game that everyone else gets to. You get to refi when rates go low. You can pull out more money. You then can invest more money. That is the thing that I don't want to go conspiracy theories or not, but I think they make those decisions so people stay there, and they always need a helping hand.
And
they always need the helping hand, and then they think like, oh, I need to vote for this person because they're going to help me, but they're really hurting you. But my opinion.
I think that you're spot on about it. That the more people we can get as homeowners,
home ownership,
you'll see neighborhoods be revitalized. What happened is people all moved out, and then they rent their houses, and again, I'm not to kick someone who's renting. They're bad people.
I'm a renter, to be honest.
but really, when people, it's one of those things when people start taking care of their own, you notice the whole community starting to revitalize. It's kind of,
you can always tell when someone rents a house versus someone owns a house. It's completely different.
And it's one of those deals like, the neighbor goes out and he plants new rose bushes. Your wife, hey, we got to go put, everybody kind of starts picking up. But I also think that's kind of where I get back to, City Hall needs to get back to basics. It's the broken window theory. I think that the city has allowed a lot of this bad behavior to go on, and it just multiplies. Like you drive down any of our major streets, you see the filth, you see the broken, the trash everywhere, and the city just allows this kind of stuff to continue to happen, and that's how blight happens. This is and so the city has a responsibility too. Homelessness is number one issue we're going to hear about.
That's always going to be the issue.
But we can't. I don't think the city of Riverside, I'm not saying that I'm the smartest guy in the world that I can solve the homeless problem. But what I can do is I can make sure that the laws of the city of Riverside are enforced. It's still, the last time I checked, it's still illegal to smoke methamphetamine on the bus stop. It's still illegal to do heroin in the park. It's still illegal to expose yourself to people. It's still illegal to go to the bathroom in public. It's still illegal to break the windows of somebody's business. And we need to crack down on, I don't care how small the crime, nuisance crimes, because they start small and they grow big.
Yeah. You push the limits.
And
it's like children.
Right. Yeah, they're going to do it.
Yeah,
what you allow me to do.
Yeah.
And they'll realize that Riverside, whether it's Ward 5 when I take over, whether it's, this is not the place you're going to continue to do this.
Move to another city.
And does it solve the problem? No. But right now, I need to solve it for the residents of my community.
Yeah.
And it's not happening, and people are frustrated.
I think the hard part is, I don't know if nowadays, like I was with a meeting the other day, and I said, why are we making decisions on who it's going to upset? Why don't we make decisions on who it's going to benefit? I'm like, every time we throw an idea out here, everyone always goes like, oh, that's going to upset a few people, but we never say like how many people it would benefit them. So I'm like, I was like running the meeting. I said, moving forward, if we throw an idea out there, the first person we're talking about is how many people it benefits, not how many people it's going to upset.
I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. I'm in my bag, got my eyes on the price. I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. I'm in my bag, got my eyes on the price. I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me.
Well, true leaders don't worry about it. Sometimes, leadership is being willing to step out there and do those things. And, sometimes you're going to make some people upset, but if you govern worrying about who you're going to upset,
I just don't think the topics you're talking about are going to upset anyone. Who can not be happy with those things? That's the thing. Oh, I want my trash picked up on time. Awesome. I want the potholes in front of my house fixed. Awesome. I want less homeless issues. Awesome. I want less vacancies. Awesome. Like there's no issues.
Right.
Like what is the complaint that you have here?
Well, instead, and that's why I'm saying we aren't talking about those issues at City Hall. They debated 3.5 hours. I don't know if you saw the council meeting the other night. It was raucous. It was over a ceasefire in Gaza. And the last time I checked, Benjamin Netanyahu was not up watching to see what the city of Riverside thought about Gaza.
Well, the problem is, do you feel like they talk about those items that are unfixable that we really have no change and allows you to now actually have to do anything?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
I think that they want to talk about, whether it's Ronaldo Fierro wanting to ban gas stoves in Riverside.
Yeah.
Hey, Ronaldo, answer my emails.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, what they also don't think. God, we're getting around it right now. What politicians don't think when it comes to housing, and it really upsets me, is that no one wants electric stoves. No one wants them. Nobody. They hate them. They absolutely hate them. Or I don't want to have to put a 22 volt into my garage when I don't have an electric car. And what they don't process, that costs us $800 to do. So we're going to charge you $1,600 to do it. And now your house is $1,600 more than it needed to be. Plus the solar. You know how many people go, can we just not get the solar? Like, no, you have to have solar nowadays. Yeah, but we don't really have the 20 grand for solar. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but you have to pay for it. Sorry.
Well, the best part about it is that these are people who are who've never spent a day in a lot of them in the private sector ever doing anything, and the only thing they know about development is buying hotels when they're playing Monopoly at Christmas.
They're like, why did I not collect $100 pass and go today?
And that's the problem, is that you have these folks that have,
because in theory.
It sounds good.
It sounds great.
It sounds great.
But they don't process all the things that it comes back on.
They govern on what feels good. Oh, that really made people feel good.
Yeah.
And people came down and they feel good about it. Like I said, we spent 3 hours debating what flags to fly at City Hall, and
who's even paying attention to those?
We're picking winners and losers.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is that they decided we're going to fly this flag, but not that flag. And so we're now picking winners and losers. How about you fly the flag that says, you picked my trash up today, you filled my pothole, you trimmed my tree? Because that's what people care about.
Yeah.
People, I'm telling you, I have not met a single person during this whole campaign, and I've knocked on thousands of doors. I have not met one single person that wanted to talk to me about, hey, Sean, what flag should we fly?
I don't even think people pay attention.
It's
Most
a distraction.
people do not pay attention.
It's a distraction.
Yeah.
They do these feel-good things that are distraction. We can debate this stuff over here that we have really no power over, but it makes people feel good about themselves.
Or they want to feel important. Because they want to feel like maybe they want to feel that picking up trash is too much of a small item for them, so it doesn't make them feel like politician-y, or whatever. It's not even a word, but like they don't feel like that level of like, oh, well, we need to be talking about more important things. Like, no, you really don't.
No, actually,
you really don't.
Actually,
let's keep this simple, okay?
Being a city council member is probably the most important. You will have more impact on the everyday life.
Because you're
everyday life of your constituents than any other. Way more than the president of the United States.
That has nothing to do with it.
The council member can affect the decisions they make, can really have a personal effect on your day-to-day life. And what people care about are the basic necessities.
Yeah. When they just want to survive.
I mean, I've gone to people's houses and their streets are crumbling in front of their house, and they're saying, I've lived here 30 years and our streets never been fixed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see infrastructure crumbling, and we can't build here, we're not going to be able to build a whole lot of stuff if we don't start dealing with the infrastructure.
Yeah.
But we need the money from.
You also, I had Philip on the podcast last week, and he was talking about like having a target of businesses they want to bring in Riverside. Like, I thought, I was like, that's actually a really smart idea. Who are you guys going after to be like, hey, our city would be great for you, and this is why? And then he's like, yeah, they don't really have anything like that. I was like, never thought about that, having like a hit list.
We should be aggressively going out and pursuing people. We need to show people. I actually think it's funny is that Riverside has a bit of an arrogance about itself that like, oh, we're Riverside, but we also have an inferiority complex about ourselves at the same time. While we think we're the greatest thing in the world, at the other time we don't think we're worthy. Well, maybe we're not worthy because you're not doing the right things at City Hall.
Yeah.
Maybe we're not worthy of going and trying to attract these corporations to come here because you failed the people who are already here. And I think that we need to change direction. We need to have a visionary leadership that actually has eyes on the future for the city. There's a lot of people who have their eyes on the future, but it's their future political aspirations. Yeah. All I want to see is I think that Riverside has unlimited potential if we get the right people in place that have a vision. And right now, I don't think we have that. I don't think, we have the mayor. The mayor is a visionary, but unfortunately, the mayor doesn't have a vote on the council, and the mayor is dependent upon at least 4 council members supporting what she wants to do. Unfortunately, because these council members are so worried about their own political futures, they don't want the mayor to succeed. So they would rather see
And why do you feel that way?
Because they see the mayor as a threat. Maybe she wants to run for one of the positions that they have their eyes on. And so, I've looked for the last 4 years, and the mayor has all these ideas, but she's not getting a lot of support from her colleagues on the council because they're worried about their own political futures, not Riverside's future, and that's a problem. That's a big problem.
Yeah, it's a game that I'm so happy I don't play in.
Yeah, well, it's a game that we all reap the repercussions of, though.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I always wonder is that one is because government moves so slow, it really hurts having the quick thinkers in there because it's like you want to blow your brains out because you're like, well, let's just fix this. Like, because in our world, it's like this gets fixed. This has to be fixed tomorrow. Like if one of these camera breaks and I had a podcast today, I go buy a new camera because I don't have a choice. I don't have to I can't go through a committee and be like, so what camera should we buy or what mic should we? No, It's like we have to get this done tomorrow.
Right. But at the local level, at the city level, you can get things done a lot quicker than the
higher level.
The higher level you get up there, the more bureaucracy.
It takes so long.
And I just think that we have failed. I think City Hall has been failing the people of Riverside for a while. And drive around the city.
Yeah.
I mean, and I say this to people all the time. If you can tell me that you think Riverside's on the right trajectory, and you think that over the last 4 years, Riverside's in a better place than it was 4 years ago, then I encourage you to vote for my opponent because she's clearly been doing the right things. On the other hand, if you're honest with yourself as you look around and if you think Riverside's going in the wrong direction, we need to make a change. It would be crazy to continue to follow the same path and expect a different outcome.
Yeah.
We were talking about before we started about San Bernardino. San Bernardino used to be the
spot.
Yeah. It didn't take too long for it to fall off a cliff.
And now they're really bad.
It didn't take long.
Now that place is like, we have a developer over there that has 14 houses, great little project, 2-bedroom, 1 bath with a 1-in-1 mother-in-law. Great for 2 families in one. We are a year and a half out. They told us last week, we'll see you in a year.
Crazy.
I'm calling favors in. They're like, dude, they have 2 people working of all San Bernardino. They have 2 people in that department. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to get a hold of anyone. It's insane.
And it didn't take that long for the turnaround there, and not in a good way.
Downtown there is brutal.
It did not take long. And I'm telling you that I know that people in Riverside hate to hear this, but if we don't change directions, we're on a course. Yeah. We're on a race to the bottom. And we need to change course quickly. Yeah. That just the name Riverside alone isn't going to save us.
Yeah.
We need visionary leaders.
Well, because the cities around us are too good now. There's Menifee, Murrieta, Temecula, Eastville, Corona, North. I mean, there's you can go. Those places are they have everything you need.
Look at
even Harupa Valley now.
I was just gonna say even Harupa Valley.
Like after that shopping center is built off of Valley Way or that shopping center or whatever that street is, like that's going to be like popping. It's going to have all the major stores. It's going to have an In-N-Out. I think it has a Chick-fil-A. It's going to have everything you need there.
And then the people who are in the western part of Harupa Valley, they have Eastvale. They have all that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, people don't realize while we've been asleep at the wheel, virtue signaling here in Riverside, everybody around us has been getting it.
Well, just off Limonite, that whole shopping center, that place is unbelievable. There's everything you need right there. It's a great spot. It's amazing.
And those cities,
and those houses cost Eastville's $1 million now.
I know.
For track homes. Oh my God!
Think about it. Those cities are signaling to outside development, "Hey, this is the place to be." So now they have money to invest. They're like, "Do we invest in the city that's on the rise, that's doing everything the right way, or do we go to Riverside?" I think that they want to come to Riverside, but they need to see something from Riverside in order to really incentivize them to come, and it's only going to happen if we change directions and get some visionary leaders here.
I think the big thing I've noticed about Riverside, I've been here my whole life, is that there's a lot of old money here. There's not a lot of new money here. Like, there's not a lot of people that grew up in Riverside, became really good at what the doctor, lawyer, whatever, and they stay. It's like the first thing everyone wants to do is successful, leave. I want to go to Orange County. I want to go to LA. I want to go to Irvine. I want to go. It's like, is it because of housing? Like, that's something I think about now. Like, you want people to buy $1 million houses or multi-million-dollar houses, but like, there's no really great multi-million-dollar houses on the market in Riverside. So it's like, those people leave. The money leaves. Right. Those are the people. I mean, New York's seeing it right now. You tax the really rich, they leave. That brings the economy down. You have to keep the people that pay the taxes here and that go to the stores and buy all this stuff. Like you said, Nordstrom's gone. Look at that clientele gone.
They go to Orange County.
They go to Orange County to shop now. And that's the flow over. So they'll go somewhere to shop nice, and then that's where they go buy something. They pop in and buy something else. They pop and buy something else. You know?
Think about it. Once a year, Riverside's figured a way to get people to come from all over the world. All over the world. All these people come to Riverside. And then they look at the lights at the Mission Inn, and then they're like, well, let's go get something to eat. Hey, let's drive over to Eastville. Let's go over to Corona.
Well, because where are you going to go? Mario's?
I mean, you can go to Mario's. You can go to Dwayne's. But I've been to Mario's last time, and I went to Dwayne's the year before. There's a lack of amenities to service these people. We don't have enough staff. We don't have enough places. And you look at the mall there. I mean, think about it. It closes up at 6 o'clock at night.
Well, I still don't understand, because we used to be in the Lauren building. I don't know how certain those shops stay open. I don't know how the Tinkly Winkly below us is even open. I know how much that space costs. Who the heck buys that stuff there?
Well, and then look at the plaza. In the summer, they should be having outdoor concerts every Friday and Saturday night. Should be something going on.
But I think that's what the West Side is missing. The West Side is missing a plaza, and that if you could turn Sears into that area and have tons of shop, and you could do living upstairs. You could do living upstairs, shops downstairs. You could do like the hallway. You could do restaurants. So you could turn it into a great area.
There are so many opportunities to do that, and that's why I think when you look at the Festival of Lights, it's so centered on only downtown. I think we should expand it out. I mean, there should be you bring all these people to Riverside. Well, let's get them to go spend some of their money throughout our city, and we have failed again. We've managed to get them to come. You know, it's like if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
But how do we get them to stay and spend their money? You know, we need more hotels, which we have Downtown Live, the project coming here, which is a huge. Is that
actually going to happen?
Thankfully, crazy. My opponent voted against this. Voted against Downtown Live. 3 council members voted against it. Thankfully, it did pass. But we're talking a huge private investment into downtown that's going to bring.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
Oh, it's going to bring so much opportunity here. We need more hotel rooms, because think about it. People come here for the Festival of Lights. Where are they going to stay? I mean, there's only so many rooms downtown already. But you can't say you support economic development and then vote against the biggest economic development project the city has seen in forever.
Why? Because you care about the Fox Theater?
Well, I mean, who knows why they vote against it? I think some of those votes against the project were because of petty personal differences with people. Mm-hmm. I mean, we have to put those things aside. If our city's going to move forward, we got to stop having petty people on the dais, and I see it all the time.
Well, so like even the old fire station in downtown, that was supposed to be a hotel, a Marriott for a long time ago. Like that thing is just an eyesore.
And now we have a vacant old firehouse, but the cultural heritage people, they preserve that building. And tell me again, you talk about who's it going to piss off and who's it going to benefit? Yeah. Who does that vacant building benefit down there?
Exactly.
Who does it benefit? Yeah. It benefits no one. Mm-hmm. Again, we spend so much time appeasing the loud minority voices, the small number of people, and I don't mean minority as far. I'm saying
people.
People. 5 people show up at the council meeting and yell. They forget that there's 350,000 people that live in the community
that are too busy coming down
right,
there. They got other things to
busy, do. And the problem is that we're constantly worried about the handful of activists instead of the residents.
Yeah.
And the reason that hotel is going to get, is probably never going to get built now is because a handful of people, try to muck things up. And the city as a whole, loses as a result. And it's frustrating because you see it time and again. The vocal, small group of people seem to win. And, the council, they buy into it. You walk into a room and, there's 20 people in here and they're holding up signs and they're yelling. And even though the best interest of the community as a whole is to serve this way, I'm going to, capitulate to these loud people that are down here yelling tonight. And it's rather unfortunate.
That's crazy.
And that's how we've gotten to where we're at today.
Well, that's why we need some change.
Exactly.
So what is the best way that people get a hold of you, get more information, follow you, all that stuff?
You can reach out to my campaign. You can call me anytime. I'm big about answering the phone. You call me at 951-394-2451. Email me at Sean@SeanForRiverside.com. You can go to my website, which is www.SeanForRiverside.com. You can find me, Sean for Riverside, on Facebook.
Hold on. You have @Riverside.com? Sean, what's your email?
Sean for Riverside.com. Sean for Riverside. I wish I had @Riverside.
I was going to say, oh my God. I was like, damn, how much does that
monetize that?
I was going to say, how much was that email address? Holy crap.
Yeah. No, Sean for Riverside.com. I'm very accessible. I believe that as a candidate and then as an elected official, it's my duty and my obligation to be accessible to the community. You can call me anytime. I answer my phone, Darren. You just like you. I mean, that's our business. We answer our phone. And so I am very accessible. People can get a hold of me anytime they want to talk about the issues, because in this story, I'm not the one who's going to save Riverside. I'm not the hero of the story. The hero of the story are the residents of the city. I just want to help them. I want to be the person that helps get Riverside to where it can be. But the people that can actually get that done are the residents of the city. The hero of my story are going to be the residents of Riverside. We're going to turn the city around, and we're going to make it realize the potential that it has. And I truly believe Riverside's potential is limitless. I think where we sit on the map alone means that our success should be limitless. But I want the people of Riverside to understand that they need leaders that will listen to them to help us get there. And that's why I'm running. I'm running to be just the vessel that the people of this community need to push it across, because I truly believe that there's nothing wrong with Riverside that can't be fixed by what's right with Riverside. And what's right with Riverside is the community, the people who live here. Wonderful people.
Love it. March 5th?
March the 5th.
March 5th. Make sure you go out and vote. Like I said last time, you can't complain if you don't go out and vote for change.
Amen.
So, until next time, guys. Peace.